Well, folks, we've got trouble. Trouble with a capital T, and no, I'm not about to start singing some Broadway songs. The T is my table saw. I got some trouble with my table saw stand. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I built this mobile base for my table saw a couple of years ago, and I love it. It adds storage under all the wings. The whole thing is mobile, so I can move it around in my shop. But here's the problem. Right there. Right there. This one is just starting to catch. So this 2x4 along the base is twisting up. Now, I don't really think it's because of the weight, because this one along the back, it's fine. Let me show you. So here's the back. Here at the back, I still have basically a perfect 90-degree angle. Now let's look along the front. Here's the base at the far right side. Here the square is touching up here. Yet over here I've got over a 1/4 inch of gap. So the 2x4 here is twisted up quite a bit. In fact, I already took a little bit of wood off here with the plane. I think you can just see the shininess there in the image, and it is still rubbing. So I find this all very puzzling. The back, as I've shown you, is fine. The front is twisting, and yet they are both built the same, built at the same time. They're both carrying the same load. I mean, the weight's not really distributed any differently. So I don't know. I mean, trees can vary, you know. Some have tighter grain, some are stronger, different conditions. It could just be that this one is just weaker. It could be the grain orientation is a bit off. I don't know, but it looks like I'm going to have to take it apart. I made this modular. The cabinets should come off no problem. I honestly don't remember how much glue I used here. I'm pretty sure the bottom is not glued. This part probably is, so we'll see how it goes. And I never filmed it when I built it, so it might be sort of interesting to watch me take it apart and put it back together. So here we go. Yeah, that needed a little persuasion. Back when I built this, I glued these two pieces together because I wanted them strong and I didn't want it to bend. And I remembered that I had not glued it to the base. So I didn't know why it was giving me a hard time getting off. However, what I did here on the right hand side is I built a kind of torsion box again for strength and support, and I had screwed that into the sides with some pocket holes which are hidden away inside, and well, they came loose when I made them, so I think we're just going to set about replacing this piece altogether with some hardwood, I think. So these pieces are kind of chewed up where I pulled out the screws. So I've made up some new blocks that I'm going to just glue in here so that I have a place for screwing when I reattach the sides. Two things. Number one, I'm cheap and I didn't want to cut up one of my big pieces of wood, so I was putting together some bits of hardwood. Number two, by gluing it up like this, I can orient the grain vertically, which is going to be the strongest. I'm going to glue up these pieces, and that's going to be the new long leg there on the mobile stand. And really, we don't need to see glue-ups. So that turned out pretty nice. I think what I've got here is something that's very rugged. Now I need to joint it and plane it down so that it closely matches the piece that it needs to replace. I have to say it looks really weird to see the shop like that. I've had a mobile base under that saw of one form or another since I bought it, and I have to tell you, I hate it like this because I can't move anything. So I'm trying to make a long cut or a wide cut, and I'm stuck with the table saw as it is. What I'm doing here is I'm ripping the twisted horizontal 2x4 off of the leg assembly. I'm keeping the vertical part as there's nothing wrong with that, so I can use that. Casters fit here at the end, and as you see, they need room to spin around. That's why the vertical support can't go right to the end, and the last little bit of the cross piece is unsupported, and that's why it needs to be strong. For extra insurance, I decided some angle brackets would be a good idea. So this top is now a glued up piece of hard ash. It's the same thickness, in fact it's a bit narrower, 1.25 inches as the 2x4. Let me bring this in close, see if the camera will focus on it. There. The grain rinds are all running vertically, so that should also resist any sort of bending. Alright, let's put it back together now. So as a preventative measure, I've added brackets on the other side as well. They didn't need it here, but I just don't want to have this problem again, and it's a really simple bit of insurance. Okay, the base is back together. This is the new horizontal piece, this is the old one. I've added brackets under both, as I said. Now it's time to get the saw back where it belongs. And wouldn't you know it, the camera filled up just when I was walking this thing onto the base. There's really not much to show you. This base is nice and low to the ground. You just tip the legs up and you walk the saw into it. I purposely left about a 1/2 inch on either side, on the one side, so that there's a little bit of wiggle room for getting the legs in. Now we can work on the rest of it. Here on the right side of the base I have this raised platform, which is kind of a torsion box I did. It helps keep the plywood bottom flat, and it raises things up so I don't have to make the cabinets to fit in. It's made so that it's about a 1/2 inch shallower. So here, for instance, is the middle cabinet, and it just drops into place, and now I can fasten it down. And a large right-hand cabinet just drops into place as well, and we can fasten it down. Let me just take you inside here for a moment. The right-hand cabinet goes right to the end, so it's actually overhanging the base, because the base is set back to allow room for the wheels to pivot. So it's fastened on here. You know, I'd say 75% of the weight is on the base. It's not going anywhere. No more bumping, no more scraping. So on the left side of the stand, I needed it open here so that I could fit the table saw in. So I don't have a platform to rest things on. So I made this cabinet a little bit different. This is a tall skinny cabinet, and I made the one side long so that it will reach down, and the rest of the cabinet I made just a little bit long so it fits in between the front and back 2x4s. A little bit trickier to get that one into place. I got one last little bit here, and that is to secure the dust collection hose. So that brings us to the end. It's all back together, and I'm hopeful that I will never have any more trouble with it flexing. In a small shop like mine, mobility is key, storage is key, and this table saw stand that I built a couple of years ago I've come to totally depend on, and I use it all the time. Even when I was working on this project, I ran into a problem because I wanted my push sticks, and I just automatically reached for the drawer here on the left, and there was no drawer. So quickly we get used to things. So thanks for stopping by and watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, and we'll see you next time. The front, I don't know. I'm going off topic again here.